definitely looking very good right now. So it's going to take Team Liquid to have some pretty big adjustments here for game number 2.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And now with TL having lost the first game, even if they win the series, the fate is not in their hands for, getting first place. Of course, if C9 wins 2-0 or 2-1, they will be undefeated in the series, so they are guaranteed first place. But TL in a series win here now, it would depend on how Lion does in their series.
Exactly. Team Liquid would still have the chance at first place if they win, but it's not entirely theirs to decide. So let's go ahead.
Ashe and Seraphine are available, boys.
Hold on. We still got one more band to go.
Hold on.
We still got one more band to go. It's Bard, Ziggs, and Cassiopeia banned out by TL. C9
and
banning the Ori
Karma
and the Lucian.
So are they going to actually leave Karma up? Or are you going to do a trade? Because the most common pairing, obviously, for that Karma, is this Ezreal. But you can do Karma Caitlyn. I think that's super lane dominant as well. So I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to trade. And it is going to be, I feel like TL for sure have to go Karma.
And if you do, then I feel like C9's easy response is just Ashe Seraphine, right?
Yeah. The question is, which do you prefer? Which is stronger? I feel like Karma Caitlyn is almost an unbeatable 2v2. I think it is really, really hard. So I would expect them to have the advantage against the Seraphine Ashe. But of course, Seraphine Ashe bring a lot of scaling, a lot of utility. It's not just about the 2v2. And it's also interesting because I feel like Core is such a key part of his play is his ability to engage. So maybe C9 are saying, yeah, we know you're going to take Karma, but that means Core can't be a playmaker, so we're okay with that.
And we still get Ashe Seraphine, which is an S-tier bot lane duo. That'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, Vulcan, you're talking about Vulcan's Bard. His Seraphine has been incredible as well. This whole split for Cloud9, and you can build so many insane team comps around this bot lane duo because it not only is it all this great team fighting utility, that's always the highlight, but also the hawk shot lets you build all these jungle plans around it. And with how well Blaber played in the first game, it could be a huge advantage to have that extra info.
Well, we can see which one of the duos is more powerful just based on win rates. Ashe, 8-10 so far in spring. Seraphine, 11-7. So she's the greater driver of the two, but they got both, so it doesn't matter. Generally, when I see these two locked in, the number one thing I want to see is a jungler that can go in front of them and be a conduit for that encore to fly.
Basically, you want to see Zhao, right?
Yes.
Which is up and available. And the question is, will Jose deny that, as a result? I don't think he will because, they need some sort of engage. Instead, they're going to go for Quid and his pick. I expect we'll see Zhao here and not a match of mid laners, but TL have to make that decision. And yes, Ashe Seraphine, incredibly strong, but Caitlyn Karma is the duo as an answer that I expected, that I called out. And I do think this is a winning 2v2, a pretty heavily winning 2v2 for the Caitlyn and Karma. Of course, the level 6 spike is way better for Ashe Seraphine than it is for Caitlyn Karma, but pre-6, you are expecting to be able to have the push.
And this is what they've done before, too. Get the APA Annie here so they can have this massive multi-layer engage, hard CC and team fight for themselves for Cloud9. So you have to think they're already comfortable here, with the way the draft is going, kind of intentionally trading these power picks back and forth with TL and investing themselves more in the specific like Jose Lee Sin target ban here for themselves. So I think pretty good planning so far from C9. They're probably, really expecting all the stuff that has gone down here. Yes, TL do have some strengths, though. So you can siege tower early, Caitlyn Karma, try and get your turret plates, get some, tower damage, and then you can rotate them into the mid lane. You can have side lane Ryze, and you can have a lot of, side lane play and some map pressure here. And Caitlyn does. Full item Caitlyn at the end game is an absolute monster and gives you like the sieging options, and then you have the Ryze for split push as well, and you can try and like pull a team fight composition a little bit apart.
It is interesting seeing, the Wukong band there instead of the Xin, so more concerned about that potentially getting grabbed up. Jace, obviously another strong split pusher. You can play 1-3-1 with that sort of style. And they are clearly more concerned about TL's ability to play side lanes and attack on side lanes, I feel, than they are about hard engage, because we're kind of already shaping up for a similar style draft between this game and last game, where C9, their first 3 picks gives you 3 engage options. TL's first 3 picks doesn't really give you any engage options, so they are kind of missing that right now. And I'm curious to see how they're going to try to fix that, or if they're even concerned about it whatsoever. Thanatos' most common pick here is the Gnar, so feels like TL want to try to force him into a bit of an uncomfortable position. and see if they can get an advantageous matchup for Morgan.
I still feel like that's kind of hard to do, though, considering TL opted for first pick, which means C9 will have the last pick of the draft. I expect them to save that for Thanatos specifically. And here we go. All right, Nocturne locked in for Blaber.
It just helps so much when you are relying on your ability to hard engage team fights.
Yeah.
Having Nocturne turn out the lights makes them, check all of these different flank angles. Where are they coming from? Like Annie, it makes it easier for Annie to get into brush or get into angles where she can either flash or proto belt and get big engages too. So Nocturne always works really well with these. Plus, it gives you some coverage for if your opponent's side lane control gets out of your control.
Yeah.
Then you can always have a Nocturne to try and put them in check a little bit.
Yeah, that's the part I was really thinking about was, hey, if you're going to play Ryze and you're going to try to draft some sort of carry top for Morgan and play, hey, we're going to do 1-3-1. Well, Nocturne makes that very difficult, right? You can attack the side lanes very easily. Even if you have a winning 1v1, it is going to be Zin's out for TL, obviously really strong, with the Enchanter to back you up. But again, TL still have no engage whatsoever. And it is going to kind of stay that way. You have basically Room Prison and a Flash Stun as your only real forms of engage. So generally speaking, that is no engage over on the TL side. And C9 are just going death ball. They're saying, you know what? We are going to walk forward with our big Sion in front, and then we're going to hard engage with Nocturne, with Annie, with Encore, and we are just going to try to fight you front to back, hit any target that you present. I like what C9 drafted way more both games.
And it's kind of the opposite switch in strategy, right? First time, they're playing the map more. They do that better. They're able to collapse. This time around, they have massive hard engage. They're going to have huge team fight. And they have the Nocturne to try and coverage if you get out of control. So Cloud9 putting the pressure on TL very early in this series. Win game 1. And looking at game 2 here, of course, Morgan on his Renekton, get some signature picks here for Team Liquid.
Gentlemen, what country are we in? Are we in South Korea? Because I don't think we are. And generally, if you're not playing in South Korea and you draft 0 engage, if you fall behind ever for even a brief iota of a moment of a slip of a speck in time, you're done.
What about this? We realm warp the Zin into the middle of your team, and he ults and does
the Zinsec?
The Zinsec, baby.
The Zinsec, and it's right in the middle, so he just sprays everybody in different directions. How about that?
Praise them.
Okay.
I mean, one thing I will say, I agree with you generally, but we have seen some of our teams kind of getting better with some of these hard engage, these comps that don't have hard engage, excuse me.
Yeah. I'm
thinking back to the Lion series, how they kind of played this game against TL, actually, where they were playing with Jace, TF, and Ezreal Karma, and I felt like they navigated the team fights incredibly well in that one, and were really able to kind of dance around that range and play it really well, pick their moments. So that's kind of what you're depending upon here for TL. And also, you're depending upon your bot lane to slam this 2v2.
Yeah, all of your lanes, really. You want pressure on all your lanes. You've got Renekton into Sion. You have Ryze here into Annie, as long as jungle, attention is appropriate around here. Then Quid can try and get some poke damage here. APA goes in through his stuns, but I think that TL want to have early pressure this whole game and build this momentum. Caitlyn and Karma try and get some tower plate money, and we're already, though, getting a jungle invade to split the map. As you see, Blaber going from Raptors over a ward into Team Liquid territory. So they did expect this. They have the defensive ward coverage to see it coming, and Zin is going to blast going on top of him to stop the split.
Yup. Blaber sees Josedeodo on the way, so he's just going to go ahead and disengage this one. Buff going to slightly reset here.
And Blaber didn't know that Jose had no smite. Jose couldn't actually really contest that. Blaber could have just taken that and walked out, I think, but was nervous about the potential collapse. Quid was moving over and was worried that he could have gotten caught. So at the end of the day, Blaber ends up spending a lot of time there. And this 2v2 looking very scrappy. When they were fighting pretty hard, both the heals have been used. Core missed his mantra Q, unfortunately, which is going to cost you a lot.
Okay, bottom side. The fight continues. Yeon and CoreJJ trying to keep the pressure onto Zven and Vulcan. Yeon, however, down to about 100 HP. Zven with a flash forward. Yeon survives the last auto attack from the ranged minion. Doesn't finish him. It's a bloody battle down here on the bottom side. Is CoreJJ also very low. Vulcan even lower.
Both junglers
Everybody is down on death's door, and both junglers are approaching the area. Josedeodo tags Blaber with a wind, becomes lightning, and now Blaber's got to try to get away. Drops the fear tether to provide the route for escape, as Josedeodo still looking to see if he can punish one of these bottom laners, but C9 has fully retreated.
This is actually huge, though, because Zven had to cancel his back. That is so bad for Zven with the wave at your tower, and it's a cannon wave. That completely bails Yeon and Core out. Zven and Vulcan played that early 2v2 so well, and what I see as a losing 2v2, and now because the jungler is there to cover, they get to crash the wave. Yeon gets a better base, gets a plate. It was solo gold on that plate as well, and Zven got super delayed, so he's going to come back to the wave, pushing hard away from him with a worse buy.
It's tough stuff.
Very bad for Zven, yeah.
That's what we were talking about, is you have to slam lane. If you're playing Caitlyn Karma, because of how much more effective Ashe and Seraphine can be in these team fights later on, because of how much better of a team fighting team C9 has with their engage, it's tough. Bot lane head-to-head matchup so far here in Pro Play 2026. Ashe Seraphine has won 3 times, Caitlyn Karma 4 times. So honestly, very, very even with the slight edge for the Kate Karma.
It is. You know, I think the 2v2 goes pretty heavily, in my view, to the Kate Karma, but that does not mean you win the game, right? You can play out this Ashe Seraphine from a position where you're a little bit down, but you're staying safe. As long as you don't let the Caitlyn get completely out of control, it doesn't always matter, because your team fighting, your scaling is so powerful.
All right, Blaber getting jumped on yet again. Josedeodo, though, got to be careful. Flashes back away with a TP about to arrive for TL. Blaber, no flash available here on the Nocturne, is going to get bound up there by the Karma, and they give the first blood over to Quid. Team Liquid's on the board.
Damn, TL played that so well. Utilizing that early TP is so hard. That thing takes forever. But they were able to keep Blaber around. The flashes being traded there, the Karma getting the tether, allows Quid to arrive, pick up a free kill in your mid lane for first blood.
I think a lot of this was really smart there from Jose. Jose using his flash, and now he's actually onto the bottom lane with Core coming too.
Yep, Vulcan loses half of his HP there, also pretty low on the mana bar, so the Seraphine not in great shape.
This is also great because look at the Nocturne's XP, man. He's still level 3 at almost 5 minutes here. He's been kept down because this failed invade and all the scrapping.
And now because mid lane prio again favors Team Liquid, and there's the smite for Jose. Blaber misses it. He's barely hanging on, and he dies again. Blaber's early game is over.
It's so crushing when you try and do the smite fight, so you use your cooldown for your smite, and you don't get it. Jose is spamming him with emotes the last few engages too, because he's been running circles around him, flashing these the fear tether in the previous one, this one being able to get it, the extra advantage on the invade. And TL, we said their job is to win the whole map early in this game. They are certainly doing that. Again, all of these lanes, pushing and winning, jungle matchup, heavily going to play to them, and as a result, heavily winning this time for Jose.
Yeah, it is just kind of snowballing out of control. Blaber, you know, not even 4. Jose's almost 5 here. And, you know, it hasn't just been about the jungle matchup, not even close. It's been about Core getting so active, and I love, even though he is on Karma, he's been everywhere. He's in that river skirmish. He's invading there with Jose. They're putting the pressure on an APA, on a roam here. You kind of start feeling like C9 needs something to work for them to try to claw their way back, but Morgan is aware of the fact that he's missing, and Quid will just push in mid.
Yeah, good comms on the side of TL here this time around to call it out, give him the timing, and now Realm Warp.
Okay, Realm Warp arrives from Quid, and Zven's in trouble yet again. Can't quite kill Core. That is twice now the Team Liquid bottom lane has escaped with barely any HP, and those small moments have built into a 2,000 gold lead just 6 minutes in.
They call the roam topside timing. They play around the Annie walking up topside, and they make the counter play with Realm Warp on bottom. Gives you that extra timer here with the distance, and they know they can get the punish. Nicely done there from Quid and Team Liquid. They are certainly snowballing this one back. From our top 2 teams here, I mean, it's top 3 with Lion, but this banger matchup here, excited that game number 2 is not going the same way as game number 1. And we may be in store for more, because TL already like jumping out to an astronomical success here in game number 2.
I mean, TL are just playing it so well. You know, APA spends his timing, goes top, that fails. Quid is on a timing down towards bot. They punish. And right before Zven had his flash again. So Core has just been so active here. And Blaber, not even 6 after 7 minutes. This is such a slow start for a Nocturne, a champion who wants a power farm, who wants to excel.
And he's losing his Raptors right now, too. Jose counter jungling before Blaber even comes around because he has that timer and he's got his level 6 advantage. So he keeps up the advantage as mid lane was traded as far as the Annie ult, and now he's camping for another.
Yup, Blaber just walks right into the waiting Josedeodo. The only thing he can try to do is a defensive fear tether, but that's not going to matter because Jose just runs him down. Team Liquid is washing C9 off the map this game.
He's still spamming emos. That was like 4 in a row, spamming on cooldown too. Man, he's actually smurfing this time around. Game number 1, Blaber, huge advantage, and definitely had some jungle gap. But game number 2, Jose getting his revenge.
Absolutely, and this is a worrying trend for Vulcan, who wants to keep him away from that MVP, because Jose looking at MVP form here early in this second game.
Now they're going to take over the Dragon Pit with their advantage in bottom lane as well.
But as you keep pointing out, Blaber and junglers always will just say, you know what, it was support diff really.
What's up, Cap?
This Karma's always right behind the Zid. Really good stuff here, though, TL and Jose specifically. He counter jungles the Raptors. He has his level 6 advantage. So you have your level 6 in the duel. You're going to have the chase down as well with the extra charge. Starts emoting early, even for extra points. 1, 2, 3. There was another one.
What is idiot doing?
Oh!
Oh. That's getting spicy there,
I like
man.
it.
A little trash talk.
Josedeodo can't even believe. Is this amateur hour? What's going on here?
Because he's like, oh, Blaber knew that I took his Raptors, so why is he even going to come in here? He knows he cannot duel me, right?
Yeah.
He's like, this is my town now.
And he is right, and this jungle matchup has been spicy in game 1. Blaber was smurfing in game 2. Jose has been killing it.
And you can see right here some historical regional accolades for the two. Jose, remember, coming from the LLA, has some championships, international appearances there. Blaber has more for North America, but so far in this split, it's Josedeodo doing better than Blaber so far. Once again, doing better than Blaber here in this second game. Jose coming down to the bottom lane now, wants to find the wind becomes lightning on Zven. No, Zven gets away there. The heal from Vulcan enough to keep him healthy and keep him hasted to get away from the aggro. But Quid's ready to try to show up, make something happen. Flash away from Vulcan, flash follow from Josedeodo, finds the knock up onto the Seraphine. Wham, bam, they knock down another one. 5-0 Team Liquid.
And it is so problematic when Ryze gets way ahead. This champion is so tanky naturally with his build, with the Roa, with the Seraphs, all that shielding, that when Ryze gets ahead, it is a struggle, because the engage for C9 is powerful. They have a lot of upfront damage, but if this guy gets too far ahead of the curve and you can't one-shot him, all of a sudden he is going to be deleting you in these fights.
Well, he's got a 10-minute Rod of Ages, so I think he's pretty far ahead of where he wants to be. Honestly, Team Liquid, awesome showing. Meanwhile, mid lane, it's another play coming out, but this time it's C9. Blaber finally finding the opportunity there for the paranoia, gets the kill onto Yeon, slows that Caitlyn down a little bit.
Just play safe, man. Gets stunned up, 100-0 with the Nocturne ult coming in, but Realm Morph.
Yeah, Vulcan now again. Team Liquid gonna spend another flash. This time, it's on Quid's Ryze to lock up that vulnerable Seraphine and find another free kill. Vulcan's second death this game.
The TL are just moving around the map so well as a squad here. And that recall barely finishes, so APA gets out. Otherwise, he could have gotten collapsed on and died there, too. That was actually a split second away from him getting interrupted.
And one thing that I think makes this matchup so frustrating for Blaber to deal with Josedeodo, who is so far ahead, normally with Nocturne, the Unspeakable Horror will buy you enough time with the Fear Tether to make enough distance that the enemy champion can't chase you down with whatever dash they have. But since Zhao will have already hit you by the time it procs, you are marked as challenged. The Audacious Charge has the extra range, and you saw it in the previous solo kill around the red buff. Jose can still just catch right back up and continue beating you to death.
Absolutely can. While we're watching this battle between two of our top 3 teams, tickets are available for Spring Finals. We're going to see some of these teams there, I guarantee it, at ASU's Mullet Arena, June 13th, 14th. The single-day tickets are already on sale. You can scan that QR code on your screen and grab some. watch some of your favorite LCS teams play.
Yeah, come see the next episode of the drama. The comms listenings are really hitting as well. The extra layers between our top teams as Jose is back bottom. The camping continues.
I don't think morale is going to improve on this one, Mr. Kobe, as Team Liquid just continues making sure that C9's bottom lane is miserable in this 2v2. Yeon is ahead over 1,000 gold.
Yeah, this is well ahead of the benchmark that we set for them as far as like, oh, you need to have early pressure, play off your lanes and stuff like that. Like they're definitely exceeding expectations here. 3K the lead for Team Liquid. Just traveling between bot lane and mid lane has been so effective here for both Jose and Quid, and even CoreJJ, as he established the early lead here through the river. And now, when you look at the control wards that lead this kind of opening into Cloud9's bot side jungle again, it just makes it so easy. You've got basically a highway for all these ganks to repeat and all these roam plays to be successful for TL.
And we may be seeing this same build from Jose that we saw from Kryra, Titanic into Dusk and Dawn, gaining a lot of popularity. Initially people had been kind of just sticking with the Sundered Sky, but this feels like it is kind of taking over in solo queue and is really starting to get a lot more popular in pro. The APs in Zhao just has insane healing, and this isn't like true AP, but it is, very, very powerful.
It splashes into it at least.
Yeah, the Titanic on hit is a really big and critical part of it too. As he's coming back, so the highway between mid and bot lane is open again. Here comes the Ryze and the Zven. It's like Zven and Vulcan are gonna already have to retreat to their tier 2. Respect the pressure. Quid is still here.
This is just so well done, and they're doing the dragon at the same time, so Quid's just going to walk down and help them take that tower, and TL are just pressuring the map non-stop. Blaber is going to see that the dragon's being taken, but not like he can do anything about it.
No, sir. There has not been anything Blaber can do for the vast majority of this game. Checking in on the top side, because we haven't really this entire time. Morgan's going to go ahead and drop the Dominus here. Another decimating smash comes out from Thanatos, point blank ulti. I think he was hoping that Morgan was far up enough that there would have been more than one tower shot there. Unfortunately for him, Morgan is outside of the range. So Thanatos survives for now. This is one of those matchups that we see it a lot in the LCS, and it feels like it almost always favors the Sion as the Renekton tries to get away now. APA tanking up most of the turret, but Blaber flies in alongside his mid laner to guarantee they get that kill on Morgan.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say during the tower engage there. The mini-map, they're walking up, both Annie and Nocturne, and they actually still chase them all the way through for the tower dive, so they do end up getting the kill on Morgan. Unfortunately for Thanatos, it's been too long since he walked back away from the exchange, so Thanatos doesn't get an assist.
Rip.
It's not
all that hard work.
It's not even that much money since it would be split between 3 people, but still, yeah, for all his hard work, doesn't get much of the reward. And still, for Cloud9, he's the only gold lead there for Thanatos. With the 59, the big 59 on your Sion, that's going to go a long way.
Huge.
With all of the early pressure that Team Liquid have put out and been able to snowball, we're just looking at dragon fights on repeat for Team Liquid. And when you are a team with Caitlyn, Karma, that has had a successful early game here, not only is your Caitlyn just going to be powerful with the Hex Optics plus an Infinity Edge very soon, but you get to put your trap line down ahead for all these consecutive dragon fights. And all of a sudden, it becomes very difficult, even with the ludicrous amounts of CC that Cloud9's team comp does have. They're going to have a hard time kind of getting in.
That is pretty big, though, getting the cleanse there off of Yeon. Yeon was just stepping forward with that Inspire from the Karma, chasing down Zven, gets some good damage on him, but they now have that cleanse out. So there is a possibility, hey, if you can get that Fear Tether on him, if you can get an Encore to hit him, and you can kill off Yeon in a hurry, you never know, because they do still have some pretty good upfront burst here on the side of C9.
Well, they're not going to have a chance to challenge for the Rift Herald as Team Liquid going to secure that one. Immediately, Blaber jumping in with a paranoia. They found Josedeodo, and that's a nice pick there for the side of C9.
He called the emergency escape Uber, but it didn't get there in time. He put out the Herald.
It's the surge hour. Yeah. There's too many other people.
He was like, please, somebody pick me up, Herald. And Cloud9 are like, we'll pick you up. There's the kill.
I mean, that is nice. It's a late contest, but they don't just get the kill. They take out the Herald, right? So that is great there for C9, who is trying their best to stay in this. They are continuing to make plays. Blaber has been involved in all 3 of their kills, despite being put way down at the start, almost caught up in experience as well, but Morgan looking for a potential angle for a dive.
Yeah, but you can see Zven and Vulcan playing very aggressive here, keeping the wave from ever crashing into the turret, which removes Morgan's ability to run in and try to make that dive happen, so C9 stays safe.
Yeah, I mean, the gold lead was at like 3.1 thousand before these last couple of plays, and so Cloud9 chopping it down quite nicely for themselves. The next dragon, of course, is still going to be a big point of contention here, and trying to get to the Caitlyn to the big break point here. You know, Yeon now also has the pickaxe here, so he's just looking for combined cost. And if they can get him there first two, then you've got Caitlyn poke and traps and Karma poke. And so it's going to have to be a really big moment of Annie flash, Nocturne ultimate, you know, Sion engage coming from, you know, another direction, and Cloud9 still can make it work with the big combo available to them.
I will say credit to Blaber. He's only down a couple hundred gold. It doesn't really matter at this point with all of the things that went wrong.
Now immediately C9 going for the engage yet again, but they bungle it. Not really what they were looking for. Thanatos hits the wall. Blaber doesn't get a lot of value out of the paranoia. APA wasn't there for the fight, so Team Liquid's feeling just fine.
They do get the flash off Jose, so, you know, Jose does respond, and APA maybe has an angle here.
Yeah, Josedeodo waiting in the brush, but this time around, C9 was ready for the trap that TL tries to set. The arrow finds Vulcan here in the follow-up, and C9 just got 2 for nothing. Team Liquid starting to shake a little bit in the mid-game.
Full credit to APA. Annie was in the brush here watching with a sweeper. He knew he was lying in wait, and he sees the Zin in. He doesn't jump on the play early. He waits, he tells Blaber, calls him over. Really good awareness from APA. There we go, right there on screen. He's watching him come in. He knows after the play, I've got a good position. They lie in wait, stun, interfere, instant delete.
Yeah, I mean, Jose thought he was catching Blaber just like he did earlier in the game, but this time APA's behind him. He had no flash because of that earlier Nocturne ult. TL were overconfident walking in there because of those missing ults, and the frustration there on Spawn's face, not happy about how they played that out.
Thinking back to the comms earlier, when Jose is saying, what is this idiot doing? The number one thing that I would always want to tell my own teammates in solo queues, pretend that you're stupid, bait this guy in, and that's exactly what C9 just did. But now here in the bottom lane, Josedeodo and CoreJJ do find the pick that they're looking for. That's APA in the dirt for the first time this game, and with the enemy mid laner out of the picture, Team Liquid is going to go to Soul Point. That's their third Drake in a row this game. They have controlled every neutral objective except for the Void Grubs, and now C9 is going to have to be able to challenge them at Dragon 4.
Exactly. Despite the fact that C9 has made some really good plays, they've turned a game that looked like it was going to be just an absolute stomp into something that is competitive, but TL are on the precipice of taking Soul here, and it is Hextech Soul with a team that has very good range. That is so difficult to play into.
Morgan getting the wave crashed into the tier 2 turret down here. Ooh, nice shot there from the Enchanted Crystal arrow. Zven manages to land that one. Blaber's ready for the follow-up here with the paranoia. Thanatos right next to him. Blaber's on a killing spree. C9, Zven with the dead shot eye sets it up for the pick on the enemy top laner.
What a snipe, too. I mean, that was with the slice and dice from Morgan there. And able to hit it, that allows the follow-up. Nice little pick for C9. Unfortunately, you're still very worried about Dragon Soul. As you said, Hextech Soul is a really good one.
How likely did you think it was to see the words, Blaber is on a killing spree after the start of this game?
Yeah, that's...
Because I gave it about a 1% chance after how this one started.
It's a nice turnaround there for the C9 jungler. Now 3-3-3. Josedeodo's 2-4-4. Blaber is up individually in gold over Jose.
That is crazy. I mean, he's on the faster 2 items. Of course, Jose's going to have his second item pretty fast and did get the Merc Tread, so there is that. But, you know, Quid got all this early gold, has not really been able to turn it into much of anything besides that initial advantage. He is working in towards that third item. The Roa is stacked. The Seraphs is ready. So he's strong, but hasn't been able to extend that lead any further than it already was.
And that's kind of the problem that we had when we looked back at the draft. What I was saying, how I'm always skeptical of these low-engaged drafts when we see them from LCS teams. Team Liquid's going to need to play the map. Their macro's got to be on point. You've got to be able to set up sieges with Caitlyn. who just ate the arrow, had to spend the cleanse to get out of that one, and then Quid's got to be able to split push, create pressure through that. Meanwhile, Blaber going in for yet another paranoia. This time the target is going to be Quid there on the Ryze, channeling Thanatos with a decimating smash over the wall, and C9 has a full send on both Team Liquid carries. You draft, engage in League of Legends. Write it down, memorize it. That's how the game goes, and Baron is the call for C9.
Dude, that's the sneakiest.
Is that not flash, okay? Yeah.
That was like the sneakiest Sion play I've seen in
That
quite a
was
while.
sick.
The Q over the wall was actually sick to layer the CC. As Quid had a pretty good flash there, you know, Cloud9 are going to take the Baron after that play. Huge, huge comeback. Look at that. The gold lead is wiped off the map. Thanatos down here to try and chase once again, but he's already put in the work with the last play. I mean, the engage there from Cloud9, layering it. Quid had just flashed so that the fear would send him actually away into safety there, and still gets caught. Really nice job, Vulcan with the Seraphine ult to set it up.
And now it's starting to feel like, instead of the Soul being what could slam the game home for TL, it's starting to feel like you might need the Soul to save the game, to try to stay into a good spot here as they go for this hard engage. And they don't see the TP, I think, you know, over the wall here. I guess they did. They actually warded it. They trapped it, but Quid didn't have a good angle because he was getting corralled by Zven on one side, by Nocturne on the other. Gets double knock up there over the wall and just knocked down by the Encore.
They absolutely saw it because as soon as the teleport was channeling, the Caitlyn trap is placed right where he's going to land, but it doesn't matter. Thanatos, the X factor in that fight, as we're back to live and we've got another scuffle. Team Liquid dogpiling in, but they're dogpiling onto the Sion. Quid is on the approach here from the side. Thanatos still alive for now. Blaber finally going to turn off the lights as Team Liquid continues going forward. Thanatos to flash away, but he's still staying alive for now. Morgan's going to be chopped down. CoreJJ falls too. Jose and Quid still trying to find pressure onto the injured C9 players as Quid eats the damage from Vulcan, but it isn't going to matter. Zven staying alive for now. Blaber still fighting under Josedeodo. Zven's going to be careful. He needs to maintain the range. He dodges when it becomes lightning. Blaber staying alive now too, but he blocks the ace in the hole. C9 team fighting is just better. 20 minutes into the game, Quid is on the run. This is crazy.
This is so well played there from C9, dancing in and out of the fight. Their members are all soaking damage from Quid. It looked like he was in a position where he could have taken over, but so much damage blocked by Thanatos, and as he gets low, people step forward and continue playing it out.
And it's APA. APA cuts off the bottom lane of TL. He goes up the river, this Assassin Annie play basically on the enemy bottom lane. He blows up core and then he pushes Yeon out. Let's take another look at it. They started out with the arrow missing, so TL are like, okay, fine, no arrow, maybe this will be a good opportunity. Jose steps up into Thanatos. They start working through a lot of damage on Thanatos. The front line here getting a lot of work. The trap line in front as well. He has to flash and ult away. Look at the minimap. APA up the river here. He goes straight for CoreJJ. Boom! 100-0. And then Yeon can't get into the fight to follow up, even though his front line was doing a lot of work.
Yeah, and Yeon is pushed out, and then Quid. Like, Thanatos is just soaking damage here.
It's hard for me to keep going, guys. So if you guys can kill him, it's fine, but...
That was exactly
hard,
true.
all right.
Yeah, very, very difficult right there. And that was exactly what I was talking about when we first checked in on top lane back at 12 minutes or whatever. Sion versus Renekton, it was even all through the laning phase, and Sion just does so much more later on.
And C9, you know, now feeling like they're in control, they're on the precipice. If they win this game, they will be undefeated here in this best of three. Will be only the third time it has happened in LCS history in the best of three era here. And C9 being able to do it, not only against the top team, but being able to do it in a game like this, where you started so far down, would make it that much more impressive.
Blaber up to 5-3-5 now on the Nocturne. Almost the highest individual gold lead in the game after that disastrous start. Kobe, as a fellow jungler, I'm sure you know the emotional roller coaster of a game like this, where you start off just getting your butt beat, and then you bounce back and you just feel like, I'm that
Deep
dude.
path, guys. We're doing a great job. Good comeback.
And good comms and good mental flowers.
Yup, PMA, positive mental attitude.
Exactly, that is the key here. Yeah, you know, you didn't get to do a lot early, but stay focused on your win conditions here. And honestly, yeah, APA, good comms, and also, like, that was just so critical, cutting off the whole back line. And Cloud9 now with 2,000 gold in their favor. when we're looking 3 minutes into the future towards the Dragon Soul, it doesn't seem like TL are going to get their, early arrival dream scenario, Caitlyn traps cutting them off and all this stuff. And it's probably should be very favored for a setup for C9 with Hawkshot and all the plentiful amount of CC they have for Engage to try and make it difficult this time for Team Liquid.
And LDR is very far away for Yeon, right? He hasn't even gotten a component yet for that thing, so getting through the Sion is going to be difficult. Yes, he is still strong, but Zven is actually ahead in gold and has the LDR, so the front line going to be dying a lot faster, it feels like. But, man, I just can't say enough about APA in this game. His team gets so far behind early. He's attempting multiple roams, finds some good plays up in top lane, putting Morgan behind, finds that flank onto Jose. That was huge. Then in this fight, finds another great angle with the help of that Paranoia, gets in on Core, one-shots him, pushes Yeon out. APA is playing a fantastic Annie game.
And especially considering I feel like in recent times, I've been pretty critical of LCS Annies. I feel like a lot of times, I'm serious, I'm being dead serious. I'm being straight with you. I feel like a lot of times our Annie performances that we see from our mid laners aren't up to the level that you would hope for, but APA, I agree, Isaac, having an absolutely phenomenal game here so far. But going back to the other side, because the story has been C9 so far, hold on, we got a team fight. Relmore bin, Morgan here in the front line, but he takes a ton of damage here at the very start. Vulcan barely staying alive. C9 in danger. They find the shutdown on Zven. Team Liquid coming back to life, but it's a double kill over to APA. Yeon to the wrong side of the map. Jose separated from his carry, and Yeon's gonna get run down. Decimating smash buries him alive as Josedeodo now fully on the run. Blaber with the flash ready to follow, so Jose can't take the Hex Gate. He'll escape the unfathomable horror. But the horrors are still there for Team Liquid. They thought they had their moment. They chose that fight. And C9 got a 3-for-1. It's about to be 4 with a desync jungle death timer, and Baron is live on the map. Josedeodo, yes, he gets the knock away with the ulti. Okay, he'll stay alive. But C9 with a 4v2 on the map for now, and Zven's about to respawn.
Yeah, and you're only a minute away from the Dragon Soul, so all these summoner spells being spent now at this fight, not going to be available for the next one here, and you're losing so many resources that you're really going to need.
Yeah, and this is a Realm Orb play. They're going very aggressive, but Jose's not there with them, and Quid is taking his own Realm Orb in, which just seems so dangerous. If Jose was there, I think it could have gone a lot better. They get the early kill on Ashe, but look at Yeon on the side. What can he do to Thanatos? He can't even break the shield. Thanatos is just playing in his face, fight after fight. Yeon is getting zoned out by these soul laners. And then look at this interaction here. Okay, we're not going to see it, but as little cheers there, little celebration.
Okay, so when the FlyQuest coaches did it and they handshook early, the celebration didn't work out. But this one is at much later.
This one, though, it was so interesting because as Blaber was chasing Jose, Blaber was trying to spell shield the knockup and ended up spell shielding the knockup from the blast cone. So he didn't actually go over the wall, and that allowed Jose to actually survive in that situation. So it was pretty big.
So what I was going to say before the fight happened is we've been talking about C9, obviously, because this comeback has been so huge. But for Team Liquid, the way that, as you worded it earlier, Isaac, the way that you stabilize, the way that you prevent this comeback from materializing is securing the Dragon Soul. But the Dragon right now is staring at two people, and they both are wearing Cloud9 jerseys. So that's another shot at the Soul, not going to TL. That's C9 securing yet another objective with their 3,000 gold.
I think that is correct for TL, because if you go there with no LDR, with no flash on Yeon, I think Yeon is just going to die.
Okay, now we got another fight. Josedeodo trying to get away. Enchanted Crystal Arrow does not hit the target. Tibbers eating a couple of stabs, but he's just fine. Team Liquid forced back yet again.
Man, I can already see it. The congratulations on an undefeated regular season Cloud9 post, where you have the gif of them cheersing their Red Bulls as the top post here.
That's got to become a new one.
Yeah, it's all, the Cloud9 fans all celebrating the regular season if they can complete this game to be undefeated, and it looks like they can. Baron going to get started off. TL, the last hope is we make some epic plays around some epic objectives. Can they do it?
Well, they're on the approach now, but the Baron is already down to 6,000 HP. Josedeodo jumps in, but he jumps in on Thanatos. And I feel like this is just a broken record at this point. Every single game, Renekton versus Sion, feels like it eventually becomes this.
And now, well, they got the teleport. That's what they came for. Cloud9, start up the Baron. As soon as they see the teleport from that Renekton, they cut it off. And so extra cooldown earned here by C9 with their setup. And nobody in danger. You can just kind of repeat the process.
Yeah, this is well played. I mean, it's the same thing they were doing last game, just forcing out those TPs constantly. And C9 going right back to it. And they are going to be aware of it because they are clearing out that ward. Thanatos, I think, hit it. So Jose's coming over. Maybe you can save the game with a smite steal. We'll see if they can get in and find an angle.
Okay, there's Paranoia. Wants to make sure nobody from TL can make their way into the pit as the Baron is already claimed. And now Blaber flies off towards Morgan. He wants to attack the pincer of Team Liquid. They knock him down to about 1/3 HP. Steric's finally going to proc Morgan. Still trying to slice and dice away. He stays alive for now. Team Liquid will manage to get their top laner out. But the enemy team has already claimed Baron. C9's wearing purple.
Yep, they're still laughing here too. They're able to take the epic objective. They've got almost, well, 2 minutes and 48 seconds here left until the next timer for Dragon Soul that they're going to have to defend. They're already going to feel really, really confident in that one with all of the extra gold that they've gotten. Guardian Angel came through. We had the Medjai's upgrade even from APA with the 10 stacks on his Soul Stealer. QSS for Zven. All of these even like little possibilities of ways that TL can try and like make picks or make some sort of burst play to get back in. Now you're getting all the luxury defensive items even coming in for carries here on the side of Cloud9, and they're going to get a lot of work done when they come to Siege with their Baron. As you can see, APA is currently bottom side with the split push going for themselves, and they can do this because you have a Nocturne on your team who can just hover in the jungle between and ensure that the 2 lines of Siege will be able to find success. Arrow going wide, but even if they hit that, it would just be a cleanse trade.
Yeah, Zven does have to be a bit careful though. You know, while C9 is in a great spot, Zven is getting chunked down a bit, and Caitlyn has the LDR. There's a rocket belt plus the actualizer.
Okay, but they decide to engage there with Thanatos as Josedeodo loses about 80% of his HP. Blaber flies in the middle of everybody. What the hell is going on there? Blaber knocked out of his Guardian Angel as Thanatos is ready to follow up with a decimating smash. Quid is already down. Yeon's ready to follow. Josedeodo still barely staying alive. And Blaber's noble sacrifice pays off. The full send from the Nocturne underneath the tier 3 turret is exactly what the doctor ordered. Morgan's got to make his way back to the base because it's only him and CoreJJ. C9 looked like they lost this game in the first 5 minutes, but through some incredible team fighting, some incredible angles, some incredible coordination, they come back, they bring it all the way to the enemy nexus, and 34 minutes in, C9 sweeps TL and maintains sole possession of first place going into playoffs.
Blaber ends it with the Guardian Angel dive bomb play, and